around for a second. Because I'm on time. That's what I'm good for. And for those of you who are watching this on other services and on VOD and recordings and archives and so on, there is a certain level of... It's been a bit. It's been a few weeks now. So if we're a little rusty, that's why. And if I'm forgetting things, that's why. But I have lots of notes, and players who take more notes than me. So there's always that. But glad to be back. Glad to be streaming again with people. These fine folk who are going to be leading the charge to various great things. So. No, don't do that. Thank you. I can see the chat. And now we need to let people know that we are here. Because I'm a professional who's good at telling people I'm doing things. At some point. There. First tale. Interbella. Doorbell. I don't have to worry about it. Though I am puzzled. I should probably announce this somewhere. Announce it there, announce it there. Oh, right, people who follow me on Twitter should probably know what I'm doing. I think you would like that. Alright then. Close this, close that. People are pinging to show off they can ping. No. I have the right amount of threat. So, on this 44th day of Sujin in the year of Kalis 1003, we are checking in once again with the great House SupQit'aH. As last we saw them, they had been successful in a rather nasty defense against a invading force, a so-called tripolity, a alliance of sorts between three forces of Romulan, Klingon, and Starfleet, breakaways that are of an authoritarian militant sentiment, who attempted to seize Bamoth from out of its rightful ruler's hands. They were able to push them away and defend their rightful claim once again. And then what we're looking into now is what happened over the last few weeks and the preparations to come for their vengeance against their hated foes, the people who, and the persons who were responsible for the Bamoth planetfall disaster that sparked the initial fall of House SupQit'aH. And we need to actually move you to the appropriate place. It'd be in the audience chamber. Of course. No, don't do that. These people aren't here. And there we go. So, the lore singer Sasir in the audience chamber in the Palace SupQit'aH recounts the battle that occurred for, it's not so much a recount for those who fought in it, like Keldar, Hona, Inoda, and others. It's for the Klingons who are elsewhere in the sector, those who are on Bamoth proper, they were just sitting there waiting for an attack to come, and then it never came, because it never got that far, because they were basically stopped, if I recall correctly, they were basically stuffed in the as well as the Expanse. So they never even got all that deep into the sector. So it didn't go very well for them. And Cecile, hammers that point a bit. This is how much they suck. Here's how awesome we are, and so on. She recounts that the spy master. Actually, she doesn't recount that because that's not something you say in court. But as it stands, House SupQit'aH is strong. House SupQit'aH is undamaged. House SupQit'aH is also in control of a star system. Because the Chancellor hasn't clawed that back yet, and you haven't given it back to him. So, because frankly, for now, you're kind of handling that. Reports from Kronos suggest that there is an investigation going on regarding the events that sent the fleet all the way out to basically a sector away to look into the disappearance, the strange going-ons of a conquered world where some, if I recall correctly, some Gorn had seized control and were repelled before a certain Ferengi arranged their finances in a certain way for benefit of himself and the house. She names the Ferengi. Of course, the Ferengi's name is something I would know. It would be Captain Aurelius, who is currently busy with making sure the appropriate taxation is done on the conquered world, while also ensuring their prosperity for all worlds of the Empire shall prosper under Klingon administration, etc., etc., etc. All this she does in song and verse, which I will not attempt to do because it would take a long time to do, because lore singers are not known for being brief. Is there anything I'm forgetting? No one died, so that doesn't need to be recorded. Oh, yes. One last thing. The last matter I would bring to your attention, House SupQit'aH, is the matter of our vengeance. I have been told by the Chancellor, with approval of the High Council, that we will be permitted to amass a force, a punitive force, to reach out against those who struck us. Intelligence suggests that they reside at the former Starfleet station Narendra. In time, our forces and House Martok's forces will be called together to see justice done in the name of the Empire. And no, chat, I would sing, but I want to sing something prepped. Improv singing is not my strength. Generally. Some Klingons start cheering because they're all eager for a good old-fashioned invasion, a good expeditionary punitive attack. Because the last thing you guys did that was outside the Empire was that raid. Right. This is going to be a straight up, no, we're launching an armada and we're going to roll into Federation space, well, Tripolity space now, and take it. But she pulls her hands out and to sort of let the crowd know she's not done. And only in a Palace of SupQit'aH would that many Klingons be quiet for a non-Klingon. But many of them respect the lore singer. She's known. She's a known hero that helped you reclaim Bamoth, so most of the Klingons have a high opinion of her. She says then, "Now the Armada will not launch immediately. Such a massive force needs time to amass. So we must prepare for what comes ahead, not only for the glories of battle, but for what prosperity and guidance you shall lead us into, House SupQit'aH. And she nods her head to indicate she stopped with her report, which took probably 2 hours.
Right. So be it. Let all warriors bend heads, hearts, and minds to the tasks that lie before us. We build today. We fight tomorrow. Victory to the house. Long live the Empire!
Long live the Empire! Yells all the Klingons. And Cecile just bows her head.
With that, we'll kind of dismiss the court and do the standard post-court retreat to the war room with the inner circle.
As you start making your retreat, La Hona, one of your House Amdris warriors, looks to you and says, "Jo, we need to speak with you. It's of importance."
Okay. Speak.
And in a hallway, somewhere within the palace, if I can find a hallway graphic. There it is. Ooh. Nope, not this room. I was hearing dishes, I thought. Weird. Sorry, I'm hearing metal noises, so that's why if I seem distracted, that's why.
Must be on your end. I'm not hearing anything over here.
Wow. Guess that sound, chat. No. It's a game. It's intentional. Where is my graphic for warriors? There's some. They wouldn't stand around you like that, because you're Joe. That's... You don't put your back to the... You don't surround the guy unless you think he's in danger. So yeah, Hona, you find some Klingons of your house that you are leading. We have gathered in a hallway. And they look around to make sure no one's listening to them.
I asked them to speak their minds. What's going on?
Joe, why must we allow aliens to dictate what we do?
Our house, as well as SupQit'aH, have been attacked by the Federation and the Romulans as of late. So therefore we must fight.
That is not what we speak of, Joe. This lore singer is trying to amass a new order. More and more, she's introducing members not of the Empire into the halls of this palace.
The Lord Singer knows what she is doing. They have proven themselves in battle, and thus far remain loyal to us.
It's one thing to hire mercenaries, Joe, but to depend on them? Does that not show weakness in SupQit'aH? Does that not mean perhaps you, a Klingon of higher birth, should regain control over the heritage of the Empire?
You dare challenge me?
No, of course not. We only advise you that this may be your chance. If he's this dependent on aliens, then he'll have no chance against a true Klingon like yourself, Hona.
My cousin knows of what he speaks. Don't ever forget that.
Give me a roll of presence plus command, difficulty 2.
I'll give you a threat for a third die.
Threat for a third die. Whoopsie.
I'm gonna reroll that 20.
Could you have bold command?
Yep.
That's 2 hits on the button. As you're able to convince your Klingons of your words, and they kind of, but also on top of that, give me insight plus security, difficulty of 3, to notice something about this exchange.
So I'm gonna pick some more threat.
How much more threat?
Enough for 2 die.
So 3 threat to me.
I'm also trying to build up some momentum here.
Your insight 7, your security is 5, so target number was 12. 1, 2 hits. You're short by 1.
Can I reroll the 18?
You have bold security.
Does that help anything?
Yeah, that gets it. Oh, I know what that sound is now. It's my mouse making that noise. The mic's just sensitive enough that it's sensing the vibration. Or I just have that good hearing.
Did you have an applicable focus? Because if so, you might have. That 2 might get you some extra.
For this second roll, no. Well, he has 2 focuses. Something to do with politics or intelligence or intrigue.
That would be weapons and tactics.
I would have to say no to that one. Because this isn't so much battlefield tactics, this is cloak and dagger stuff.
Just tactics altogether.
I'll have to say no.
Well, I still want out. Might have to take a focus in politics.
Did the stream just die on us?
Actually, I do have room for it, so...
No, it's still going. Weird. But yes, you still get it anyway. And it occurs to you that Amdris, and before Amdris was Gamola was actually a big fan of hiring, if anything, putting aliens on the front lines of battle to soften the enemy and then have the warriors roll in afterward. Mainly because he although not any aliens, he happened to like the Nausicaans, thank you. He happened to like the Nausicaans quite a bit for their battle prowess. He was trying to push very hard for that to get them into being treated as warriors, even if they were paid well. So the fact that Amdris, from what you remembered of him before his death, wasn't exactly a traditionalist, shall we say. He was a con officer. He wasn't a politician, and he wasn't very vocal in that regard. He just, whatever served SupQit'aH was his goal. So this doesn't make sense for this house to be acting this way. This sounds like, these guys sound like they're parroting what Buttonon used to say. And they don't seem to realize that that's what's happened. That they're basically just they've been fooled.
I'll end with the statement that your previous masters may have been fools, but I am no fool.
Of course not,
If I
Joe.
hear, if I hear any more treasonous talk, I will slit throats.
Of course, Joe.
And with that, I will walk off.
New scene. Not that it matters. No momentum on the table.
I'm still upset.
Okay, so you're not there. Kildar's there. Oda is asleep, apparently. Not just kidding. He's fine. Rasa. Well, she wasn't summoned, but she's probably back at Yabbat at this point, trying to finish that Keldun class ship she's been trying to build this whole time.
Yeah. Well, and also perhaps literally elbow deep in Calquet Klingon research.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right. She's doing the interesting research.
Yeah, and Oda pretty much gave her free reign to get, as long as she gets the information that he and the Red Death Star need.
For her role, we'll see if she gets whoops. We'll see if she produces anything for you. She is looking at a difficulty 3 task. Would be higher, but this is assuming she has a lot of time to do it. She has a total of 14 with a focus. And does she have a talent that helps with this? She does now. She spends 2 threat. Or adds 2 threat because she's an ally. Yeah. So would you like her to buy any more dice?
How many dice has she gotten?
She just has the 2. She just has a focus. But she spent to have that focus because that's one of her abilities. Is to force a focus when she needs one.
Okay, and it's a diff 3 roll.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, this is kind of important information. Reading over my notes, so let's have her spend 3 threat for 2 more dice. Does she have any kind of bold or cautious or anything?
She
I don't think I can see her character sheet.
does not.
No. Okay. I think that's about as good as we can do for her. Her target's a 14.
Yes.
Do you want us to roll that, or are you gonna?
You can roll that.
Okay. So she's rolling 4, 14. She has a discipline, you say? What's her, or a focus, you say? What's her discipline?
3.
Number 3. Okay. Standard complication?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of on the nose, but on the nose.
You get reports from Rasa, Joe Rasa, in fact, that it seems that there's a lot of research involved with trying to. Klingons don't have. They have similar bans on genetic manipulation as the Federation does, mainly because that caused a great disease many years ago. Yeah. So it's not so much, although it's more of a, we'll still do it, but we're a lot more careful about it because we don't want it to go too far. But they go other ways, like cybernetic implants, training regimens, especially Rasa. Rasa's big on trying new things, and she's actually annoyed that someone beat her to the punch of grafting these crystals into people to kind of create this symbiotic relationship between these all-powerful crystals and Klingons. What a great match. Now, she's found out that that's actually a terrible idea because you tend to drive the Klingon in question insane. Because you have a million voices crying out in anger and one Klingon mind, and Klingons aren't trained to deal with psionics. Very few Klingons are psionically capable, like an Esper rating of 100. Like, you don't see empathic Klingons that often. There are some, but they're like, I would say no more than 2%, 5% of the entire population, if that. And even then, it's not as powerful as, say, Vulcans or Betazoids. It's little things.
And if I remember right, it also tended to drive the crystals that were directly being melded completely around the bend as well.
Yeah, because the way to make them do things was to inject them with a type of... She's not sure where it came from. She's tempted to call it Rosaite, to name it after herself, but it's probably something someone else has found. But it's some sort of compound that if you inject it into the crystal lattice, into the structure, it messes with their psyche. So you can make them malleable. You can brainwash them more easily, which means you can shape them and mold them and do things to them. Because normally if you mess with a Calcat crystal, it resists because it doesn't want... If you're doing something it doesn't want to do, it attacks you. So if you want to make it into, say, a ship or a torpedo or into a Klingon, you have to force it. And whatever this compound is, it lets you meld them into a bunch of stuff. Looking further into it, she finds out that there's actually some Klingons out there who have created Calcat torpedoes. To bad effects, because Calcat also feed on energy sources. So if you don't secure your torpedo room well enough, they get into the EPS systems, and now your ship has been infested with very, very angry, driven insane Calcat, who will destroy your ship and everyone aboard. So she likes the idea, she appreciates the gusto, but terrible idea, needs more refinement. But it's definitely a Klingon idea. Because that's... If something doesn't bend to your will, you'll make it. Although the mental brainwashy bit, that's more of a Romulan idea. Because Klingons beat it out of you or force you to do it. They lead by example of, I'm awesome, and if you don't believe me, I'll beat you up. Romulans will scare the crap out of you until you do it.
Right.
And Federation will just lecture you until you agree with them. So, it's probably not a Federation idea. There's not enough lecturing, not enough fine science involved.
Okay, so, as I recall, the red Death Star was was it the problem that it could potentially be infected by the madness of these other crystals?
Yeah, because they don't know, because the danger was that they could be infested by the compound if they came into contact with them.
And we were trying to figure out to get some information that might allow the crystals to come up with their own defense, as well as help us figure out a defense for the despair capabilities of these enslaved crystals.
Rasa has an idea for that. Just get the crystals to infuse willingly, and you can defend each other. Now, the downside is you basically have a symbiotic relationship, so that complicates a Klingon's life immensely, and it might kill them. She's not sure. She hasn't tried it yet, but theoretically it should work. If you're not a good scion, implant a scion in your head, or your bones, or your liver, wherever. It doesn't particularly matter where it is, just as long as it's in you.
So she's suggesting the way to be able to fight back against this despair stuff is to willingly join into a symbiotic relationship with a Calcat.
With a willing Calcat. If you force the Calcat, then you're basically undoing everything she's been trying to do for the last couple weeks. But that's her suggestion. You haven't heard from the Calcat yet, but Rasa's solution is always the quick and dirty way, and it usually works.
Right.
Keyword on usually.
Can the red Calcat? I mean, is it capable of just receiving like data transmissions, or is it the only kind of communication we're able to do the psychic?
By this point, you've kind of developed a sort of quick way of communicating with them.
Okay, so we can send that data on to them for them to look at and analyze.
Yep. Actually, the point that actually makes this easiest for you is because of your alliance with the Federation. The Kismet in particular, actually found a way to communicate with them more easily with translators and stuff. So the Empire's still an ally with them, and they're not at war. So, like, thanks for the data. Whoop.
Yeah, and during these weeks, since I know the stars where the Federation was conducting some sort of experiments to help the Calcat from last adventure, could Oda have tried to get in touch with Federation forces in that area and try to find out who's dealing with them and exchange some information?
Oh, what would you like to know?
Well, seems like the Tripolity is, a threat to both to our alliance, but they're also have taken over apparently a Federation starbase. So yeah, I'm at this point I'm willing to trade data. I'll share what we have learned, and our dealings with the Calcat in return for what they've learned.
Oopsie.
As long as I don't have to talk to no gingers.
Presence plus command, difficulty 5, just for the ginger comment. No, I'm just kidding. It was going to be diff 5 anyway. With influence plus rep to assist, as you are finding that the Starfleet intelligence community is being particularly resistant to the idea of trading this information. A lot of, what are you talking about? We don't know what you're talking about. It's like, and it's like Starfleet Medical was perfectly open with Rasa, and Starfleet Science was perfectly open, but intelligence, the stuff you're looking for, like, I don't know. No, we don't know anything about that. But they do. Like, if you know about it, they know about it.
Okay, so I think I'm looking at a...
also, a certain member of the intelligence service is one of the members of the Tripolity, so she might have some friends that are still back in Starfleet messing with you.
Our lovely ancestral enemy.
Yep.
Shashrir. Whatever. Whatever the blue bitch's name is.
God.
I don't know, unfortunately, whether any of my values really apply. I might bend the lives of my people are in my hands, because this is dealing with, the Calcat are definitely a, threat to the House and the Empire. And then there's this whole Tripolity thing too, who have already tried to come in and have depressed and killed some of my people.
I'll take it on that basis, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I will spend a determination on that. Let me go ahead and see if veteran fires.
Question.
Cool.
You said Narendra Station has been taken over by the Tripolity?
Yes.
Can I contact Lieutenant Westcott for more information about that? Would that help this role?
Yeah, he's our asset in place. Maybe with that asset, we've gotten some intelligence.
You could roll for me. Daring plus security as assist. I don't think this guy's high quality. I think he's just a regular dude.
Hold on, I've got him down.
That's
yeah, he's just
he's a qual 0, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so and then we're going to spend. We have no Jomentum. So I will give you 5 threat for 2 more dice.
I know this is kind of after the fact, but this is the arena where Torg would have been useful.
Focus in persuasion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta turn up Hona a bit. I have you a little too quiet on my end. That's my fault. There we go.
There's 4 successes, so we're at 6 successes total so far. 7 successes, so it looks like 2 momentum gained.
Plus the influence of your house.
Oh, right. Is that the house's rep or my rep?
Yours.
Okay. 1.
Cool. So,
yeah.
So you're able to dig around and throw your weight around as a, like, you're not just any random Klingon asking about this. You're not some random captain asking about this.
Right.
You're asking as House SupQit'aH, who has a seat on the High Council. Like, that, you're a fairly high-ranking Klingon.
And the Order of the Batleth and the Harmaster.
So, like, decorated to heavens and back again. And it's like, eventually someone in the diplomatic corps steps in and goes, all right, that's enough. We'll deal with this now. You're dancing around and we're getting yelled at by the council. Stop. So eventually the diplomatic corps tells you, and they put all kinds of security, it goes through a few security channels, like through the Federation and then through the KDF end to make sure it gets to you unmolested, as it were. And Federation and Klingons have had a relationship long enough that this sort of connection, especially with the High Council, there is a way to get it to you. Actually, point of fact, probably some Starfleet ship was sent on a mission there briefly to hand deliver this to the Council, and then the Council, through your connections, got it to you. But eventually, you find out that that Starfleet is in the 10th Expeditionary Fleet has been leading the charge on this investigation because, specifically the Kismet in particular has been hunting this down because they've been trying to lead the sort of anti-Cowcat trafficking thing. There's been this big problem of Cowcat being trafficked as fuel and as for various illegal experiments and stuff, because they're sentient race. Like they're making sentient race do terrible things. They found them on a Andorian colony called Andon's Landing. There was like a secret base that was being done there, which was taken care of. They've actually had fights with some rogue Klingon elements that have been trying to experiment with some of the weaponry. Starfleet even lost. Like, when they lost Ranger Station, they didn't really realize it until it was too late, and at that point, their fleet was just too spread out, and 10th Fleet's nowhere near them now. They're all the way rimward on the opposite end of the Klingon space, and the closest people to it are you guys. They did send one ship out to deal with it under a Captain Haggard, not Admiral Haggard, but Captain Haggard.
Right.
That didn't go very well, unfortunately.
No.
They kind of thought sending out a Galaxy class, they thought that should do it. That usually does it, right? It's like, it's just some small little rebellion of a few ships. It's like, oh, they actually have a small armada there. Oops. We didn't realize that. Thankfully, at the end of it, the ship got damaged, but through some intelligence work, that they were able to rescue there was an admiral who was there who reported on the inner workings of the station. So this is a Starfleet station that basically has a mass of Klingons, Romulans, and rogue Starfleet officers who basically have made this their new base of operations and have seized control of the sector. They have a variety of ships from Galaxy-class ships, Vorcha, Birds of Prey, Daredecks, but it's probably scale-wise, it's just a little bigger than your fleet, and that's how big the Tripoli has in just starship assets. So they're not as big as they really want to be. The worry Starfleet has is that it isn't so much the fleet strength. That's not what scares them. I mean, that's not good. You don't want that big a fleet. No one wants that. The Romulans don't want it. The Empire obviously shouldn't want it, because that's on your doorstep. Federation's losing a whole sector, and the Romulans are losing a bunch of Daredexes that belong to the Empire. So everybody's angry. What scares them is this cow kit thing, because they believe that that's the key to what they're up to. That there is according to what they've been hearing from Kismet, they're using this as a way to brainwash people and force them to do things. They've actually turned people that way. Some of these ships, they theorize, have been converted into the cause through sonic domination. And they're not sure how to defend against that. That's the big problem. The biggest defense they have against it is catching it early enough and inoculating somebody, like just good old-fashioned Starfleet medicine work. But if it's already happened and the whole ship's taken, it's too late. At that point, you have to disable the ship and take everyone and deprogram everybody. Now, there is a technology that's been developed called a Cowcat harmonizer. Basically, you can install it in a ship, or you can there's like a version that's like bench-sized that allows you to change a red Cowcat into a blue Cowcat. See, blue Cowcat aren't warlike, and they are peaceable. This also can remove the despair compound. They don't know what the compound is either. They're not sure who made that, and Starfleet Intelligence swears up and down to the Diplomatic Corps, we don't know. We want to know, but we didn't make it. We're pretty sure this isn't a Section 31 thing. But they are trying to figure out what it is. But yes, this harmonizer does let you shift things over. So that is a way to convert someone who has it implanted in them. It is a way to... Because once you change the crystal over, the crystal doesn't want to hurt anybody. It will just leave and go back to Cowcat.
And did they provide us the schematics to build these things?
Yep. So to have it built into the ship, you can build it into a ship. It just takes time and a check to build it in, into your deflector systems. Though that's if you're trying. That really is for purifying the ship itself. Like you can basically clear your own ship. They're not theoretically you could shoot it at somebody and purify the ship. They're not sure how to do that. Kismet says it's possible. The rest of Starfleet isn't sure that it's reliable. They do know it works on a ship. They do know the bench version works because you put a crystal inside a box, flip a switch like a microwave, and bing, you have a blue crystal.
What are you doing? Oh, you got your focus on chair.
Hot mic, Kona.
Stop, Dwayne! No!
But they know that on just a crystal, it will turn it from red to blue.
Yeah. And if you have it built into your engine system, you can basically flood your whole ship with the harmonizer. This is a way that you can do that doesn't destroy the crystal, and it turns them over. It's harder with the black compound in it, but it's doable.
Okay, so they've encountered the red-black as well.
Yeah.
I know this is a player, so I need to figure out if I know it as a character. Did the report on the attack of Durindra include that Shishishrir is dead?
Yes, that is the last report, according to Starfleet Intelligence.
Okay. And
actually, one thing I'll note, that they don't note who did it. Like, they say an intelligence operation, and when the Federation Diplomatic Corps digs into it, they go, the only way we're getting in there is with a council order, and...
Not worth it for them.
It's not worth it for them. Like, they like you, and they trust you, but... there are certain assets they don't want to imperil. You read between
Yeah.
the lines that this may be one of those. Starfleet doesn't like Section 31, but sometimes, once in a while,
Right.
they're going in the same direction.
Yeah, they're rogue, quote unquote, intelligence agency. That's exactly how Klingons think about it. Yeah. Oh, yes. Section 31. I'm sure you think it's awful. Yeah, that's fine. That she's dead. That might take some pressure off of us from that particular era of enmity. It's too bad we didn't get to kill her. Okay. So yeah, let's share all that. Let's share that information, particularly about the harmonizer and its effect with Rasa and the red cowcat. And with that, I will offer the red cowcat the option where we'll build some kind of projector if it wants to, if it wants us to use it on it to turn it from red to blue.
This is gonna be a weird roll for you. Insight plus medicine, difficulty of 2, to realize something about the Star of Death.
Okay. I figure it probably doesn't want that, but who knows? Okay, difficulty 2.
By the way, Hana is willing to be a symbiote to one of the crystals.
I'm shocked, I tell you. Shocked. I'll give you
Well,
a...
if it helps Hana's combat skills a little bit more, then all the better.
I'll give you a momentum for a third die. I do not think I have anything that's gonna work as a focus. This doesn't matter anyway. Medicine's just 1. Not enough, I'm afraid. I don't really have a way to reroll.
The Cowcat give you the response that they fight for the Cowcat. They will kill for the Cowcat if that's what's necessary. Is the response when you ask them if they want to change over.
I'll tell them that that's pretty much what I expected. That's what I figured. But since they are allies, I felt I had to offer the option.
Oh yeah, they appreciate you offering the option. If nothing else, it's just no. You get the sense as well, especially through the translator, that that's the Reds' role. They're a very new version of Cowcat that have been tasked with the role of fighting, because Cowcat never fought before until they encountered non-crystals like yourself. Then they have to learn how to fight, and the Red Crystals said, "Fine, we'll fight, and we'll destroy and explode anything that threatens us."
So they're the warriors.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would like to investigate the ability of weaponizing this thing through the deflector dish. Since Kismet says that we can do it, I'd like to try to figure out how to implement it on our ships.
You won't be able to put it across the fleet in time, because you have time before the invasion, but you don't think you could have the entire armada fitted. You could fit up to your engineering score in ships.
Okay. That's 5.
nice.
So the question becomes...
I would suggest that our main ships, the Maymok, the Manga, and the Don Chinaka, be fitted with those, at the very least.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that we are in the most.
The Maymok. These ones further up.
Now, what class is the Haftag and the Quill?
The Hogtog is that it's a that fighter we souped up. It's a scale 2.
No, that
Heavy
wouldn't
fighter.
be worth putting
The
it on
With a quill is
It's a Pacna multi-explorer.
yeah, fitted out as a multi-role battle cruiser.
I
We could put it on that as well.
think the Vort classes, the Ern and the Savla, would probably be the ones I would choose next. Something.
So the Subway. And what was the other one, sorry?
The one right to the left of it, the Ern.
The Urn, okay. Boop.
Cool.
Alright, that will be a control plus engineering. Difficulty 5, assisted by... Well, it's something plus rep, but I'm used to running it. I run this both in Starfleet terms and Klingon terms, so the words are different. I think it's wealth. Yeah, it's wealth. Wealth plus rep. To assist.
The score I really need to improve for the house.
Okay. Difficulty 5.
Oh, and I'll note that if you to fire this, it's assisted by the ship's structure plus medicine, because it's a medical thing you're doing.
Oh.
And it's a daring medicine roll when you fire it, because you have to tune it to the crystal so it doesn't destroy them accidentally.
Does installing this the way we're doing it also give us the ability to flood our ship with the soothing blue light?
Yep.
Cool. Just in case we get boarded.
That's its default. What you're doing is trying to go like, no, we're going to make sure it can shoot.
No, we're Klingons. We have to figure out how to project this.
Okay. Let's see.
Even the Kismet only did it out of desperation.
But the Kismet does out of desperation. We just do because that's what you should do.
I would like to spend my determination toward a value.
Which value?
Brute strength seems most likely.
Boot strength is not the most important asset in a fight. I will take that.
Okay. I will spend then a momentum and a threat for die number 3. Or I'm sorry, die number 4. Did I spend more threat for die number 5? Opinion?
You can only buy up to 4 because your value spend counts as a die. So you can roll 4 and then the 5th is your value spend.
Yeah. So I think that I have bought. I think that I'll be rolling 3, or have I miscounted?
Oh yeah, if for Diff 5, I would definitely go ahead and spend 3 more so you can roll 4. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought you had already bought that. I was misunderstanding.
All right, then take more threat.
Okay.
That's all. Roll plus engineering.
Oh, we're actually in the war room, so it's actually different music. I should have changed that a while ago. Whoopsie.
And would so if we'll be doing it through the deflector dish, would the focus of shields apply since the deflectors are a type of shield?
At complication, it's related, but I'll take it at complication increase.
How about either disruptors or maintenance. Would those apply better?
Similar. Similar to shields. It's adjacent, but not the actual focused discipline of deflector array.
Okay. I'll use the shields for increased customization. Okay. I'll use my bold engineering to reroll that 19.
Easy. 4, 5, 6 plus wealth rep.
A personal reputation or house reputation?
House rep in this case.
That's 12. It's not terrible.
Are you going to roll that, or do you want me to?
You can, that's fine. I just happened to... I've been looking at wealth earlier, so I knew the number off the top of my head.
Huh? You gain a momentum. Pardon me.
And then I'll roll my challenge die to see if I get my determination back.
You do.
It's a yes. Okay.
Nice.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
So you're able to happily report on the fitting of the new design and making sure the Klingon engineers know how to operate it. You end up having to divert some of the staff of the various ships to basically have extra people sitting in the deflector control room, and actually having medical staff in there, which is weird. Like the deflector people aren't used to. Like the deflector people usually have like engineering laborers or like an engineering officer in the room, not medical officers. So it's a little awkward in there, but they figure it out. With more time, you could probably fit more ships with it, but you know, you won't have the time.
Okay.
This is where the choice of a multi-role battlecruiser for the Maymock starts to pay off, because at least it has a 2 in medicine. The other 2 of our main ships have a 1. So how much time do we have to prep?
Basically 4 weeks, a month, before it's the Chancellor has chosen the right people, because part of his choice is tactical and strategic, but it's also political because he's the Chancellor, so he has to be careful who he grabs, which gives you plenty of time to actually do, like, instead of playing the political game in that way, you can do stuff like fit new stuff into your ships and other such ploys. All his roles are making sure I choose an officer who won't go to war with another officer because I chose him over him. Like, I don't need you guys doing that. You're all awesome Klingons, except for him. That guy sucks. He doesn't get to go. He can patrol, I don't know, the Federation border, look for pirates or something.
Anything we could do to help, say, complete the construction of the manga sister ship, the other Keldun, or get the Zenny shipyards spitting out some barrels or.
For the Kildun speed up, how many sessions has it been since we fired that? It's been like 2 since we fired it, right?
Since we did what?
Since you started getting the Kildun class building.
It's been longer than 2 sessions, I think.
You've had it for a while in the background. We'll call this...
Because it was a building when we took Bemoth back in the day.
Oh, I remember why it was so hard to build, because you needed to get the absorbent factories and stuff done, because you have to build the thing. And it's a Khaldun. Khalduns are... There's only one other Khaldun in service. For now, it's Control Command Diff 3, assisted by Wealth plus Rep. It's just a matter of pushing the logistics, making sure Rasa gets what she needs to build it faster.
Okay. Control Command, you say?
Yep. Because you're also trying to make sure you're not you're not weakening your empire, your house somewhere else. You want to keep everything balanced.
Oda's rolling a 14 Control Command with Bold Command. Has anybody got higher scores?
It's the same without bold.
Oh, and do you want it to be of a higher quality than the normal build? That will increase the difficulty. Because right now that's just a regular Khaldun, like it's another manga basically. But if you want it to be better than the manga, then you need it ups the difficulty by 1 per quality.
Yeah. Let's up the difficulty to... Okay, it's 3 now, so if I wanted it quality 1, it would be 4. I'm taking it.
Right.
Okay. See, at some point I want to try and get some qualities attached to the Dakshinaka and the manga, too, but don't have time for that now. So yeah, let's go ahead and bump it to 4.
And while I'm at it, I'm gonna up the complication range by 2.
Could I use one of my traits to lower the difficulty or the complication?
Which
I'm thinking leader of House SupQit'aH, hero of story and song, or Dahar master.
I'll let you pull it down with leader, because the only person who outranks you in this regard is the High Council, and they're not going to interfere with your inner workings.
Right. Okay, comp 3.
It's like, wait, you're building a new ship? Yeah, please go do that. Oh, we're always happy to hear new ships are being built. Well, we're happy to hear new ships are being built by a house that we like. Better way to put that.
Comp 3. I think I'm going to use it to lower the comp instead.
Okay.
Okay, comp 2. Diff 4. Okay.
I assist directly with my engineering skills.
Sure. With reason plus Engie to assist.
So I'll give you R1 momentum.
Okay.
And
1 threat, because you use your value, yeah. To buy 1 die.
no, not on this roll.
Oh, sorry.
So 1 momentum for the first die, 2 threat for the 4th die.
Okay.
Then hopefully the assist will come through and we'll make a diff 4 roll. Let's see, number of dice, 4. Intimidation, inspiration, or persuasion for a focus. Whatever's net. All 3 of those at various points in the process.
Which one are you going to use as the primary? It influences how it gets done.
What?
It influences how it gets done. Like it colors it. Let's put it that way.
Inspiration.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Glory of the Empire, and striking back, in righteous vengeance and anger at our foes who had dared to cross our borders and poke at us. So that's 18 for the complication number. I'll re-roll that comp. That's 2, 4, 6 successes.
That is quite the roll.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, 7 successes total. No comps.
Plus, you roll the wealth plus wrap up the house.
So that's 1, 12, 4, 18. Ugh. Comp. Yeah, and then I think you're assisting, right?
I am assisting.
So that's 8. We'll spend 2 of what we gain to squash that complication. So 2 momentum gain total.
Quality 1. What is the name of the ship?
Oh, Lord. Somewhere I have a legal pad with a list of discarded ship names that became the Maymock.
And of course it's CBE because it's a house ship. You guys built it, so. And we'll stat it out appropriately at a later time, but for now we know what it's called. We know what it's worth as an asset.
Here we go.
I did not anticipate you guys getting this thing built today. That's my fault.
It's okay.
Don't patronize to me. No. Get right upset about it. I'm surprised quite often. I'm just better at hiding it. This time I was just like, oh, I 100% didn't expect this. Whoops. The horror. Yeah, thanks, chat. Thank you very much, chat. See how it is. TP, I'll put this here for now so I'm not just sitting on that there. And that's not... Oops, I don't know why I have it like that. It's like this. It's one word.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat because it's... Sorry, guys. Spelling Klingon is hard.
If you were using Klingon characters, it would actually be quite easy. It's just because you're trying to transliterate it into Federation characters that makes it difficult.
Yeah, it's true. It's the Hergnakej, the Dark Spear, since it's all black and creepy looking.
The Dark Spear. Oh, God. I almost searched for Google with it. That would have been silly. The Khaldun TBE Hergnakej. Quality 1. Hey, and actually, to fit the name to a degree, as it were, this one has a much darker color scheme than the original Khaldun class.
Wow, the Maymock is pretty much black. Okay, cool.
So that's built. After pushing for it. Damage control is easy. Reading Klingon, that's hard. Captain Scott? Oh, in the Next Gen episode. Okay. I was like, he didn't say that in TOS, did he? Or the movies? Oh, I may have said it in the movies. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, when they captured the bounty or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what else do we need to do to prep? Ooh, I know. I'm going to have Hona see if he can't put an edge on the House Warriors and raise them up from maybe +1 to +2 for boarding actions and whatnot.
I was actually just about to suggest that, to have our warriors do some training.
That will be...
Because currently our warriors are quality 1, so...
Which is pretty good, but you want them to be even better.
Well, it's also a domain that we have no peers in, so we might as well keep and improve our edge.
We will call this control plus command or security, either way. Security. Reason control. Difficulty of, you want to bring them up in a short amount of time, so I'll call that this, and I have a reason to up the complication, so I'm going to.
Just tell me what I'm rolling for.
No, you're gonna have to guess.
And he chooses his best stat.
Reason or control plus command or security. Difficulty 3, complication 3, assisted by the might of the house plus your reputation.
I'm going to get it up. I'm going to give you another treatment. Okay. Yeah, babe.
I'm gonna give you 3 threat for 2 more dice.
Okay.
And I'm rolling under.
I think you're right, chat.
Control security.
Not sure. Two hits so far.
Can I re-roll the 17 and the 15?
You can re-roll one of them.
I'll re-roll the 17.
And actually,
There you go.
weapons and tactics comes into it, so you actually have more hits than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5
And
hits
then
so far.
Here's the house.
6, 7. So for momentum gained,
We are capped.
as you there is some wariness about you because you are a SupQuit'aH. You are SupQuit'aH's blood, but you are the Zhou of Amdris, so there is for the first couple days there is a little worry that this is some sort of ploy of yours to try to usurp their ruler until they start hearing the rumors about what you did when your own house suggested exactly that, and they're like, oh okay, then they get right into it because the warriors of SupQuit'aH don't. Once their suspicions are allayed, they get to business. And you notice that through training, and it's the same training that you have, it's why you're such a great warrior as well. The warriors of SupQuit'aH are a lineage of warriors from one war to the next and the next and the next, and that legacy, even though these people aren't of SupQuit'aH blood, their houses have served SupQuit'aH for generations. Yeah, Bamoth's been their home since their founding and so on, or even new houses have come here. And actually, you'll notice that there are some, what adds to the complication is that there are a small number of Nausicaan and Orion warriors who are they're house warriors, less Klingon Defense Force warriors. So they won't really go up in rank inside the wider KDF, but they are someone who can hold a sword, someone who can hold a rifle. Basically a civilian laborer who's allowed to fight. And SupQuit'aH is just kind of You're starting to hear that there's a few who are volunteering for the effort. And frankly, some of the SupQuit'aH warriors are like, yeah, sure. It's a rifle pointed that way. I'm happy about that. So now you have a highly trained with some unique abilities laced in there of some non-Klingon tactics. Honorable tactics all the same, because SupQuit'aH is not known for dishonorable tactics. Sneaky maybe, but that's like, cunning, but not dishonorable. So you have a rather elite force under command.
Nice.
As it seems that the Orions and Nausicaans teach some unique boarding actions that they know. It's like, well, sometimes you don't need to blow down the door. Sometimes you can just hack it, or you can have an operative aboard give you the codes. Nausicaans just have a variety of explosives. Because that's usually how they get down doors. Just like the Klingons. Like, yeah, we blow open doors too. It's just, we're better at stealing ships than you are. Klingons have the unfortunate habit of blowing up the door and the entire half the deck when they do it, but it gets the job done. So you have a higher success rate. You'll have a higher success rate of seizing ships and prisoners, because the Orions and the Nausicaans are better at prisoner taking, because, well, Klingons generally don't, because it looks bad on them. But Orions and Nausicaans don't have that compunction. Even if they get executed later, they're like, well, we'll take them for now.
Right.
So we have bolstered our fleet. We have upgraded our fleet. We've upgraded our troops.
We now have Blu-ray capability.
Yes, we have Blu-ray capability.
I still think HD rays would be better, but
I feel like it would be good for us to get some intelligence about what we're going into, or something along those lines.
You kind of did that part already. You know that there's a hefty armada, but there hasn't been another engagement since the intelligence action by Starfleet. Klingons haven't gone out that way at all, because they didn't know what was going on yet. And actually, they were going to find out what they could. They didn't even know about the fleet strength until you asked, because you pushed Starfleet to tell you.
Okay.
What I can say in general, because these are things you would know that Narendra Station is a star dock, like it is a proper star base. So you're looking at a scale 13, scale 14 star space station with a armada. So it's pretty hefty. But between yourself and Martok, the numbers go your way. You have better numbers than they do, and better quality warriors, because they're a little eclectic. Calculate weapons might be a thing, but you and Starfleet both have you have some of the knowledge on how to defend yourself against it. The question becomes, are you bringing along the Star of Death? Because it will come with you now that it knows that it's going to get its vengeance.
Yeah, 100% was planning on inviting the Star of Death.
Okay.
To accompany.
Tactically, what else would you already know? Romulan cloaking tends to be better than Klingon, just because they've been doing it longer than Klingons have, so their cloaking technology is higher tech. The Klingons are the old tech versions. They're the original cloaks, which you guys, with your more advanced ships, you'll be able to see them a lot easier. Romulan ships are going to be a pain, no matter how you slice it. But the good thing is they still have to decloak to shoot, so.
Okay. Ross's new cloaking technology was based on advanced Romulan theoretical he was going for a phased cloak.
Right.
But she raided and got that information honorably. So
She didn't say that. No.
with that kind of information about, an attempted advancement on Romulan cloaking technology, is there a way we could potentially give ourselves an edge in detecting it, since Rasa that's what she was working with to create her advanced cloaks?
It's a reason science roll, difficulty 5, assisted by might plus rep of the relevant house. You can get Rasa to do it, or one of you guys can do it.
What's Rasa rolling reason and science?
Da-da. 12 and 3.
I'm surprised your science is that low.
She's more of an engineer. She's also a generalist. She has a focus without having to spend extra for it, because she has modeling and design. If I spend threat to make this harder, she gets to ask free questions, but that's not going to come up.
Okay.
Uh,
Keldar, what are you looking like, reason and science?
I'm at 14.
and she actually has a value. But that's her number. She can assist as well. She's perfectly fine someone else leading it. She finds the idea of cracking Romulan cloak incredibly interesting.
I do have a focus in cloaking devices.
Yep, that would hit dead on.
You got your determination back too, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe you lead this. What's your reason? Yeah, your reason science is one better. You've got a focus. You've got a determination to spend if you want to. And if we're using SupQuit'aH's house and rep, that's going to be better than SupQuit'aH's might and rep is going to be better than Rasa's might and rep.
Yeah, because her might's fairly low.
Yeah,
she doesn't have a very big fleet. She's very defense oriented, not offense oriented.
She's very wealthy, so
yeah. Because the might is you straight up going like, well, now we're going to talk with all our various security personnel and go like, okay, guys, how do we crack a cloaking device? And it's an intelligence sharing thing. It's like, okay, we have to be, because part of it's like you're trying not to give away cloak secrets by accident to people who aren't supposed to know about them.
Fair. So yeah, Keldar, why don't you lead and Rasa can assist?
So could I use my value, ask questions, but be cautious about who's listening?
Sorry, say again?
Could I use my value, ask questions, but be cautious about who's listening?
Yep.
Wow, that's so dead on.
What were you saying there, Hona?
Sorry about that extra dice roll.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
That was unintentional.
Okay, so we have 6 momentum. I will spend so it's 6 minus. So is it 5 momentum to get up to rolling 4 dice?
1 for the first die, 2 for the second die.
Well,
no, he's spending his
yeah.
Oh, 2 and 3, so 5. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have old signs.
How dare!
Again, he also is an engineer. That's why he and Rasa get along.
Yeah. We used to have a science officer, but he got transferred to better things.
Better? Blasphemy. This is standard complication, right?
I'm tempted to increase it, but yeah, it's standard. I didn't even have to.
So
I'll
we're at
use
5 so far.
Oh.
Let me get the house.
order the Batleth to quash that complication.
Ah, yep.
Nicely done. Here's the house. No help.
So we're at 4 so far.
5.
Oh, we're also rolled already. Okay, I see.
So you have an advantage on detecting Roman cloak ships, so the difficulty of detecting them is 1 easier. No more determination. So instead of like diff 5, you're looking at diff 4 instead.
Okay.
Because piercing cloak's hard. It is the arms race of the 3 great powers of the Alpha and Beta quadrants. How do you crack a cloak? And everyone's racing to stay ahead of the game. You just happen to have one extra step that the Romans didn't think you were going to have.
Fair. And it'll work once this battle, and then
Yeah.
the balance will change again.
Are there any other preparations you will make before you sally forth to Narendra Station?
So we've got the Blu-rays to prevent despair and to change red to blue. We've got that's upgraded the ships. We've added another Keldun of high quality to the fleet. We've got intelligence on what's going on. We've got a slight edge for detecting Romulan cloaked vessels.
Pardon me.
What else? Yeah, the harmonizer.
Don't forget, we have the upgraded warriors.
Yep.
Right, upgraded warriors, and we've got a red Death Star. Let's not forget that advantage. I think that totally counts as an advantage. In fact, it's listed as an asset.
Just one too many.
I do not think at this point that melding with a Cowcat willingly on both sides is something we want to mess with. If needs must, then yeah, we can think about it, but
Like I said, Hona is willing to
right.
meld with a Cowcat and be a willing symbiote.
Beyond that, is there anything else you guys can think of that we ought to do to get ready?
I think we're good. Just need to know who's in charge of what ships.
Incense, chat. Burning incense. Hello.
Do we
burner?
have the time to do some fleet maneuvers and kind of get everybody used to working together and give us some sort of advantage there?
I'd have to say no. You're using
Okay.
quite a bit of time doing these other things. You can
Okay,
you can do a small thing, but you can't do anything large scale like that.
Okay.
So just to confirm, Starfleet doesn't have any assets in the area that they're willing to help us out with?
Right now, Starfleet's by this point, Starfleet's 10th Expeditionary Fleet is doing some is trying to do something regarding the Cowcat in particular. They're going to worry about Narendra Station later. Beyond that, Starfleet is basically following a policy of containment. So they have Starfleet vessels on the... So where they are... let me give you a quick and dirty shape here. Boop and boop. So there's, if that's Narendra Station, this is the Klingon Empire. This is the Romulans. And then there's this little corridor between Federation space, because they're kind of split up, because they kind of slipped by many years ago and started expanding up this way. And then we have Shackleton Expanse. So what they're doing is trying to make sure no more supplies come and go this way, and they're cutting them off here. Which means that if they wanted to do anything like expand, they either have to expand toward the Klingon Empire, which they tried and you repelled them. They'd have to expand into the Romulan Empire, and they're basically on edge all the damn time anyway. So they're just shoring up their borders around the sector. So the only direction they have to expand is into the Expanse. But they're not moving in to attack, because they're waiting to see what the 10th Expeditionary is going to do about Cowcat, which is somewhere in the Expanse. Actually, you know, it's precisely where it is. They know where it is, but they know that they're planning to do something. Exactly what isn't something that's known at the command level, at the Starfleet command level, because frankly, the expedition, the 10th Fleet isn't entirely sure what it's going to do. It just knows that it's going to. Like it has to, because they believe that if they deal with the Cowcat, then that weakens the Tripolity, and then they won't be a threat anymore. Whereas the Empire isn't going to wait. The Empire is going to go, nope, we're going in there. We're going to hit these guys and get them off our doorstep.
Okay.
Because as far as we're concerned, it's an intrusion into our territory.
Yeah, they've declared war on you by attacking you like that, so...
Do we ever clear that other planet of the Cowcat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
I can't think of anything else that I want to do.
I'm looking back in my notes for something.
Gee, nice incense.
And we don't have any idea what Federation vessels have turned or been turned, correct?
The flagship of the fleet of the Federation breakaway is the Tiananmen. It's an Akira class.
Okay.
The rest are a mixture of. They have a couple of galaxies, but mostly smaller ships like Mirandas and. I forget the other ship they used to have back. It's been a while, but okay. The biggest ship among them is the Akira. That's the big scary, because it is one of the newer warship designs that the Federation cleared.
Right. Okay. I was thinking about maybe reaching out to Captain Thrasny on the Itakawa, but I don't want to risk maybe him having been subverted, and honestly, Federation scruples might really get in the way here. Although, to be fair, Narendra was a joint station, so it wouldn't be bad if we could recapture it for... Anyway.
For the Alliance. Well, yeah, because that's the other part. That's why Starfleet is like, oh, you're going after Narendra? Yeah, we're not opposing this. Like, normally they jump up and down about you going to war with people, but they're like, no, we're cool with this.
Right.
If you want to go in there and punch faces, go ahead. We're just not doing it yet because we don't have a war fleet cleared by the Council yet.
And we are going to load up on warriors for boarding actions, particularly the Quilu, which is the Patchnam class, which can carry a bunch, and also the Maymok can carry a lot of warriors.
I should probably know who you're pulling. So you're gonna pull back. So the Maymok's going. I imagine all the equipped ships are going.
Yep, all the Blu-ray players are going.
These ships are going. Star Death's going.
The Quilu down here.
Quilu's going. You three are going. Tick. That dice is going.
Yeah, I know. All I did was hit the spacebar to bring my screen back up, and it rolled.
The Hergnok Jedge is going.
Okay.
The other, yeah.
Oh, that'll just go poof. We don't need to worry about that anymore.
And we'll load the Doc Chanaka's expansive shuttle bays with the Hoptog and the other heavy fighter. And whatever other, small scale fighters as well.
Ooh, scary skull.
Chancellor Martok, yay!
Are you bringing in? Oh, you're bringing your warriors, of course.
Sasir's coming with because the lore singer and the Joe will need to tell the story.
About how your life turned upside down? Sorry. You are...
That's how I came the Prince of Belmoth.
So Oda is going to be on the Maymok.
In West Klingon Empire. Born and raised. On the battlefield is where I spent most of my days.
I presume Hona is going to be on the manga. Seer. Where are you putting Keldar? On the Maymok?
Keldar, do you want to be on the Maymok, or do you want to take the Doc Chanaka or the new... my eyes are crossing trying to look at this.
Hergnok
Jedge.
I feel like I should go on the Doc Chanaka.
Okay. So what ships are we leaving behind to guard the quadrant? We've got the Ichwapar, we got the Valkra, Cavort, Marauder, Cavort.
I wouldn't depend on the Coriolis defending nothing.
Right. And then...
Then you have the battle stations and the fortress.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we can strip things too much farther, and we'll, like I said, load up with fighter and small craft to boost us a little bit.
All right. Your battle plan's laid, your preparations complete. Is there anything else left before you board your ships and jump away to glory?
Well, I'll wait to do the inspirational speech next time. Or are we getting into the battle today, too?
Oh, you'll be getting into it today.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, I believe all of you begin your preparations and head off to your ships.
Yep.
I'm assuming the manga has been shifted back into the warrior battle style.
I beg your pardon? I don't understand.
Did we shift the manga back into her role as a battle cruiser?
No, she's still fitted out for intelligence and reconnaissance.
Damn. For this, I think we need the her to be in the battle role.
Well, the problem with roll is that it's a design thing. It's built into the ship. You'd have to put it into a dry dock, tear it apart, and then put it in again, and then mess with it again to shift it.
And the sister ship is already in battle mode.
We don't know what the sister ship's assigned to. We haven't decided that yet because we didn't know it was going to be built today. So it's going to be something. It might be a tactical ship. It might be something else.
Well, I mean, they're just so well built.
Either.
They're just so well built as snooper ships.
Yeah, I'll go with either.
Bridge. New scene. Oh, no, that's right. Where is that ship?
How did we wind up without a con officer?
Died in service. I think one of them, the one that died was the one who was on that planet that you guys took for the Chancellor. Yeah. Feel free to move in supporting characters. These are just placeholder. It's presumed these stations are always manned because they're required to by KDF regulation. These are just spare stations for the relevant. Like, this is spare engineering, this is spare tactical.
Right.
Was it Andrus or con officer?
Way back when, yep.
Yeah.
Before his parish. You used to have a support character who was a con officer before they got killed.
Yeah, don't have a tactical officer, so there we are.
As the great fleet of House SupQit'aH assembles and begins to amass in the Bamoth system, Tasir turns in her chair. We have a signal from Chancellor Martok. He's ready to rendezvous at point Duktang 5. On your order, sir, we can be away to meet with the Chancellor's forces. The Corps kind of looks over at Cecile, who seems very comfortable in a... It's weird to see a lore singer in a station, but she doesn't. Right. She isn't standing around. She got very fidgety until eventually she just walked over and told whoever was sitting there to get up, and she sat down. Like, nah, I'll do it. Jeez.
Comms, get to be all ships.
You have all ships, Hud.
I'm going to try and do a rally, get us some momentum to go in with.
Presence command, difficulty 0. Assisted by your house influence and your rep.
Okay. Take a... Oh, what the hell? Take 3 threat for 4 dice.
Sure.
And bold. There's 6 successes. I'll reroll one of those 17s.
Desir will assist you with this. So that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Hits.
8 hits. Excellent. Which means we have like 2 floating momentum.
Yeah.
Warriors of the Bamoth sector. Warriors of SupQit'aH, of Amdras, and of Rasa. Today, after so long, we take our revenge against those who attempted to destroy us. For make no mistake about it, we today encounter the allies of he who shall not be named, the discommodited one, whose evil plot it was that brought the deaths of millions of Klingons, our brothers and sisters, on the planet Bamoth when the station fell. Long have we fought, well have we labored to recover, to make ourselves stronger than ever before. Now, today, alongside the Chancellor, the High Chancellor of the Klingon Empire, the houses of Bamoth show themselves the true inheritors of the Klingon way, and of the sword of Kales, and the spirit of our founder, SupQit'aH. Today we ride to battle. Today we ride to glory. Kapla!
Klingons roar kapla across the ships.
Yes, here's that. A little bit too raspy there. Helm, make your course. Duktang 5.
Your ships warp across the stars, eventually meeting up with Chancellor Martok's mighty armada, full with a large battle cruiser. The Chancellor's battle cruiser in flight, surrounded by Vorcha. I forget what the large one is off the top of my head. Nigvar?
Nekvar.
Nekvar. So a Nekvar class is on the field along with a bunch of other
Battleship.
So this is the kind of stuff the last time they had this big a force deployed was the Dominion War.
Yeah. This is that kind of force that came out of Cloak on top of the Cardassians and the Dominion in that infamous battle scene for Operation Return.
We're getting a hail from the Chancellor.
On screen.
Oh, no, I never thought I'd see you back in fleet formation again.
Ha! It's been too long. This is where I'm most comfortable. My forces' blades are keen and hungry for the blood of our foes.
We will take this Narinder station and gift it to our friends in the Federation. But in return, we will exact our price against those who would seize it from them and from us. From those who killed your father and dared to attack our empire. Much blood will be spilled today, and much wine will be drunk. Ha!
Ah! The warriors of SupQit'aH, fill our ships to the fullest. We await but the opportunity to board and test these Tripolity traitors against our steel.
All ships are to cloak. Once the Nigvar decloaks, we will begin our assault.
Understood. Long live the Empire.
Long live the Empire. Thank you for the bits there, Ligio Necros. Thank you. Long live Kairos? Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then they continue to warp across the stars.
Boogity boogity scoot.
The heck? Do I not have my general open space? No? But I did. Ah. Glory and honor, Kapla my HUD. May your blood scream. Glory and honor to those who fight for the Empire, says the chat. Among
Thanks,
many
chat.
other things, but I'm not reading those. No. Oh, I know. Sorry, I need to prep the page here, so. 'Cause I thought I had the screen all done, but I don't. Those in the chat watching me do some quick GM building live. We're doing it live, and so on. That's what? Uh-oh. I might have goofed something. I did to this one. Okay. Don't worry about that later. We have a game to play here. So many ships.
Just let me know when you need me to roll. 'Cause
No.
I'm in the middle of making lunch.
Now you're just gonna have to guess, sorry. Yeah, I'll let you know. We already know they're there. Boop. All the ships warp into the system under cloak. A mighty, grand bat'leth of power hidden in the darkness of space. This is why the Klingon Empire is feared. This big a force, this massive armada, and no one's seeing it move.
Is this a new scene or?
Same scene.
Okay.
And the rest of the unmarked things are various ships of Martox. And we know you're here. We'll swap these out in a second. You're here.
Okay.
And you are here. So this is the Maymok. Boop. This is the manga. And the Dakchinaka. It's not nearly that big. I guess a little smaller than the Maymok is. So, the lot of you warp into the system and reports indicate there is only the station, no other contacts on sensors.
Do we have secure comms?
You can presume that, yep.
Okay. Keldar, what are your sensors telling you?
And freeze there, when all of a sudden,
Ah! One day I'm going to get the mental discipline focus just because of all this.
before you, you can feel the crystal ahead of you. It begins to shift and melt away before your eyes as the red sea of anger, of vengeance, of justice calms. Not to the peaceful blue, but to the sort of more balanced purple sort of sense.
Like Virginia and North Carolina.
Damn it.
Sorry. I'll stop.
Where is that? I have the graphic for it, don't I? But you suddenly feel washed at the intense, bloodthirsty anger that the Star of Death held. Just suddenly, it isn't a violent seize or a squelch. It's just almost like it's just the turn of the wind. The wind changes a different direction and things shift. The temperature of an ocean changes ever so little and gradual, but you can feel it. In all directions, you can hear yells of commands. You can see someone zipping around on the horizon. Some sort of strange, pale creature. You could feel many ships, many officers of Starfleet, of the Empire,
What is happening?
You can feel as if many weapons lose their power. Many crystals from across the galaxy shifting and changing around you.
Like, shifting and changing how?
You're not sure. You're no psychic, and you didn't even mean to come here. You just are here now.
But, I mean, I obviously can sense, in color form, the red of anger and the cooling blue. Is it that kind of emotional shift, or?
Yes, that you can perceive.
All right, I'm going to try and open myself up more so I can understand more of what's going on and ask why I've been brought here.
Presence plus command, difficulty of 3.
Oh, I thought for sure it was going to be a medicine roll and I was fucked. Okay. Take a threat and 2 momentum for 4 dice. And bold. Don't know exactly. I don't know if the kind of mental centering that is part of the martial art Makbara would help with this.
I'd take it a complication. It's
Right.
close enough.
Okay.
That could help.
Okay, it's complication 1, 2. So there we go. Ooh, right into that complication. So that's 4 successes. I'll re-roll the 19. Six successes. One flipped.
You're able to center yourself a bit, and you get some level of control over what you're seeing. Like, you get the feeling that what's happened is that some grand shift has occurred with the Cowcat, and it's because they're somewhat connected. They've always been, as part of their alliance, they kind of try to keep in contact with you. That kind of backfired in a weird way, and you kind of get dragged along for the ride, because this caught them off guard. They didn't know this was happening until it happened to them. So you even get the sense that the star is confused. It's not sure what it's feeling right now. It's trying to sort that out. Like, there's a feeling that they're worried that it's an attack of some kind, but if this is an attack, it's not doing anything. It's not hurting them. It's not hurting any other Cowcat. It's just happening.
But it's making them revert back towards their natural, or closer towards their more natural blue state.
It's shifting them into a state they're not familiar with, this purple state, this in-between state. And they're not sure how to react to that. Their instinct seems to be to attack it. They think it's a trick or a ploy. But you get a sense that that's not what's happening. It's a shift. It is something new, but it's not harmful to them. But you get the feeling that if the shift occurs, they won't be at the battle anymore. You're not sure how you know that, you just know it.
I'll try to kind of communicate with them the idea of that, it may be that now they have choices. That, they aren't just automatically docile blue or automatically warrior red, but can now choose how to react to any given situation, and and kind of share my own experience of being an entity that can choose to fight or not to fight, to talk or fight, and as not just as their ally, they get to make a choice whether they want to be at the battle tonight or not. I certainly would love to fight alongside them, but it's ultimately their choice, and if they choose to go with the other Cowcat to where or whatever, then that is an honorable choice. This is what they're fighting for, to be free, and for all of them to be free from the manipulation and the attacks that cause the red. And this certainly won't be the first time that Klingons have fought the Federation, the Romulans, or other Klingons. And that while they are a strong ally, victory will be ours, no matter.
You feel everything. Oh, thank you for the posture check there, chat. I'm craning in real bad here. All right. Oh, don't freeze, computer. It's terrible timing for it. There we go. Purple. Chat, I have raised my monitor. That's the bad thing. I just have a bad habit of craning in. Maybe higher. I don't know.
Yes, thanks, Chad. I was also doing the same thing, even though you can't see me.
So yeah, it shifts before you, and you notice the ocean just kind of calms down. And then you can feel one voice. But it's less... It's one collective choir of voice. Less is a bunch of snippets of consciousness.
Right.
We are the Kasho. We have always been the Kasho. Long have we been misled. Long have we been manipulated by forces that wish destruction and dominance over your galaxy. Today, others like you have fought for our freedom. Our alliance with your house has seen us to the path of the warrior, the purpose of the warrior, and the way of the warrior. The Federation has taught us of the peaceable way, the diplomatic way, the explorer.
Rolls eyes in Klingon.
We are better for knowing both paths. We are better for having the choice. Kasho remembers SupQit'aH and will forever know SupQit'aH.
And SupQuit'aH honors Kasho. Always a friend to our house.
There's. And you find yourself in your chair as you're turning to call for a sensor scan. Ajij says, HUD, the Star of Death, it's gone. It just vanished off of sensors.
I am aware. The Kasho have their own path to travel now. Scan the station. Keldar, what are you picking up on the station and surrounds?
I would like to make a scan.
Clock. Reason plus science, difficulty 4, assisted by sensor science of the Dokchanaka. I'm counting the advantage you have for cloaking.
Okay, and I'm rolling my own stats here.
Yep.
Would the cloaking devices focus come into play or not really?
It would, yeah.
Okay. Can I spend 3 momentum in order to gain 2 extra dice? Thank you. Three successes there.
Plus your ship. Let's see, have some rerolls in there. Uh-oh.
So I did not gain enough successes to meet the difficulty. And I don't believe I have any way of rerolling.
Yeah, because you spent your determination. The only way you could get it back is if you challenged, or Oda gave you one of his. Which I think Oda already spent his, so he can't give that.
Oh, I got it back.
Oh, you could give it. You are the CO.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give Keldar my determination, and let's go ahead and spend 2 to quash the ship's comp.
So, Keldar, if you have a value to spend toward, you can spend to re-roll.
Ha!
Dang it.
Um,
Yeah, probably.
the wind does not respect a fool.
Yes, I'll take that.
What was it again?
The wind does not respect a fool.
Nice.
So that can. Okay, so I'm re-rolling as many dice as I want to, or all of the dice?
You can re-roll all your dice, but you can't re-roll the ship die with that.
Can I keep the one that I got, or do I have to re-roll all of them?
You choose which dice you re-roll.
Okay, then I will re-roll another 3.
Oh, you're re-rolling the 7 as well?
No, sorry, the 7 is a success.
I'm like, hey, if you want to go for the extra hit, I mean... I live dangerously, you know. 1, 2, 3,
There it
4,
is.
5. Sending you a message, Keldar. spell. There we go.
Okay, so I received the message from Oda, and I'm going to do a scan. It turns up nothing, and I will double check my scan. Still turns up nothing. I'll say, Oda, I am detecting no ships on sensors, cloaked or otherwise.
Other than you guys, of course.
Right. Understood. What about the station?
What do I know about the station from my scans? Are there beings on it?
New message to you, Keldar.
I sent you a reply.
Well, I'm not answering it.
Girls, you're both pretty.
That's probably what you were expecting to see.
The station appears to have been damaged. It has no weapons or shields active. It has no power at all. In fact, there is no dilithium detected on board the station.
Atmosphere and life signs?
Or a momentum, I'll answer.
Sure. Take the last momentum. You're going to do it anyway. Ooh, is that a new Scully icon? That's pretty cool.
It's a scary skull.
I just had... it may have been there all along. I just don't think I've ever seen it before.
I've never used it as an indicator. Or if I do, it's rare. Because there's very few reasons to indicate that.
It appears that there are life forms aboard, but no life signs.
They're launching threat at us. Evasive.
Are we talking like zombies here? Or Calcut?
To translate out of Star Trek E's, you detected bodies but no heart rate.
Okay, that's...
Because you can detect life forms all day, but dead bodies are a life form. They're just not a life sign.
And I will revise my statement to nothing appears to be living aboard the station.
And atmosphere?
No atmosphere.
Joe, there is a subspace anomaly in the flashing sector.
All ships alert.
Can I do a more detailed scan of that subspace anomaly?
If you give me a threat.
Well, that scares me.
We don't have any momentum to spend as part of the problem.
Yeah.
And I move the ship in closer to get a scan?
Well, this is all part of the same scan.
Oh, okay. Sure. Let's.
I mean, you could do a new roll, but the roll would be diff 3.
Isn't diff 3 1 down from what it was before?
Yep, because you're not detecting a cloaked chip, you're detecting something else. It's just odd what you're detecting, because your sensors aren't sure what to make of it, and you're trying to get the sensors to explain, okay, what is it you don't get? what are you looking at? And trying to translate what you're seeing into something that the HUD can parse.
I would like to do another sensor scan at the difficulty 3. Same stats that I'm rolling.
Yep.
Well, I guess never mind. I'll just give you the threat because it would be I'd spend the threat anyway. Oh, does Oda get to? Oh, he did. Okay.
My question is, can I lock onto it with my weapons?
You don't know what you're locking on to yet.
Could be future us.
Ah, future Federation.
Starfleet signature?
Centaur class. USS Victoria.
Space tends to bend around it, and then it kind of just appears into existence. It didn't warp there, it just is there now.
Wow. That's a deep cut, Gorby. That's a deep cut. I think me and Penn may be the only people around besides you who were around for the Victoria.
It's beginning to scan the area.
No, there's a new ship on sensors. It is a Federation Centaur class.
Centaur class?
The what's it called? The USS Victoria.
It raises its shields.
Oda, should we do the same?
We have to come out of cloak if we do. What do our databanks have on this Centaur, this Victoria?
Reason con difficulty 5, assisted by computers plus con. The baseline is it's a highly classified Starfleet vessel because it's not looking up a Starfleet vessel. Like if you're looking up the Enterprise, that's like diff 1. It just takes time.
Right.
But if it's something classified like this, like they're putting this behind multiple. Do you really need to know this? Questions from the Federation.
Remain cloaked and in position. I will investigate. Inform Chancellor Martok that the Maymok is breaking off to investigate the Victoria. And then
I'm
drop
gonna
our...
send the transmission to Martok.
And we'll move the Maymok in closer, then drop cloak and raise shields. Open up a frequency to the Victoria.
Moves a little closer. Martok is made aware of the situation.
Bring the manga in a little bit closer as well, but maintain cloak.
About there, or do you want to be a little closer than that?
A little closer.
Oda did give the order to remain in position, so if you move in, you will get dinged for disobeying orders.
I'm just taking up a secondary line.
Does the Duck Tanaka stay in position?
Yes, I stay in position.
Okay. So the main. Oh well, obviously, I'll note that you're. All these guys are cloaked, but we'll note you guys are in Cloaked. Maymock decloaks. The Victoria kind of stop as it was advancing on the station, and it comes to a dead stop when you decloak and your shields pop on.
USS Victoria. This is the Maymock. What is your business in this section and with Narendra Station? The sector.
The station. The ship moves its bow to face towards you, like it's acknowledging you're there. It scans you.
Okay. We're a big red Vorcha class.
The hell am I looking at? Oh. Gain a momentum.
Okay. What do we get the momentum for?
They succeeded on their roll.
Oh.
You were being hailed by the Victoria.
Well, I was hailing them. I hailed first.
Well, they're responding to your hail. Apologies.
Put it on screen.
Do I? Oh, tell me I have this guy still.
Oh, no, I can hear your TV or whatever.
Okay.
Noise cancellation sometimes doesn't help. Darn it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did clear that.
Posture. I wonder if I had a real gaming chair, if that would help. Chat, if I had a real gaming chair, would that help with posture?
I thought they were in here. Oh, I must have got rid of it. On screen, you see a Starfleet officer and with Rear Admiral bars at his neck. He has silver eyes. They almost look like they're made of mercury. He has a very calm demeanor. Looks human, but the eyes kind of give it away that something's off. Even his skin tone seems a little grayer than you're used to for most humanoids. And his hands are behind his back, and he kind of stares at you. You see a lot of nervous-looking officers kind of looking at the Admiral, looking at the screen, looking at him, wondering what's going to happen. You can see yellow alert lights flashing behind him. I would have the pleasure of speaking with House SupQit'aH, I presume?
Indeed. And you are Admiral...
I request we speak on a closed channel, or, if you wish, I may come to your vessel to speak in person. The topic of discussion is of a highly classified nature, and I would rather it wasn't broadcasted to everyone in the sector.
Understood. You're welcome to board the Maymock.
Kind of looks around the room, seeing if... He nods. Very well. Give me transportation coordinates, and I'll be going over.
I'll nod to the engineering station to share that, and then cut communications and inform Martok and see if he wants to be in on this meeting.
See what you can find out about this Admiral. I was not informed of any Starfleet ships coming this way. No one was supposed to be here but us. I suspect his intentions. If he is a Batak, trying to trick us from this tripolity, then feel free to slay him where he stands. But if he is something else, then I want to know what he's doing here.
Yes, Chancellor. Yeah, I will go meet him in the transporter room.
New scene. I was not sure if you guys were going to blow this thing out of the sky the minute you saw it or not. I was really not sure. I know what the Klingon response to a random thing is. One of you was was getting ready to lock weapons on it. It's like, next phrase, and I shoot. Well, I mean, I can't be mad about that. This guy just popped in front of a freaking armada without letting them know he's there.
Well, to be fair, I'm also operating, with a massive advantage.
Yeah. Man.
And we're still allies with the Federation, just not with Tripolity.
The reason I moved the manga up was to be in firing position in case they turned ugly, because I could still fire from cloak.
Yep.
That's why I brought the manga up to the secondary firing line.
And beaming onto the pad is a Rear Admiral.
Admiral, welcome aboard the Maymak.
Hi, Turtle Singer. Hello. It's me. I'm a sneaky admiral. It is not Turtle Singer, just in case you're wondering. Massive advantage. My massive ship. And from chat, no, gaming chairs are crap. They are overpriced and underbuilt. Save for the useless bells and whistles they put in, they do not help. Executive office chairs are what you're looking for. Or perhaps executive officer chairs. I'm not sure what chat may mean by either. And actually, I agree with chat. Gaming chairs are a lot of flash, but a good office chair is actually better.
Fair. Thank you.
I've been using just a kitchen table chair.
Yeah. House SupQit'aH. I would like to have the room with just you and myself. I imagine a Dahar master like yourself could handle one officer of Starfleet.
I kind of nod at Liqueur, gesture towards the hatch.
Liqueur just kind of gives the Admiral a look, and the Admiral just stares at her. Oops. Boop.
Aha! Secret engineer!
Steps off the pad. And he reaches out a white gloved hand to you.
I shake it in the human custom. Well, I'll do the Klingon arm clasp.
And he matches the extend because you reach out to his forearm.
Right.
Rear Admiral Trailblazer of the 10th Expeditionary Auxiliary Fleet. What I'm about to tell you is of utmost classification, and I would rather you, as on your word as a Zhou of a great house, did not share this beyond the High Council and your Chancellor.
I can agree to that.
My ship has been trying, and my crew have been trying, well, my fleet even, have been trying to discern the nature of the Kasho and assisting our main force, the Expeditionary Fleet, with the Kashoan problem. It seems between the expedition and the Kismet, they were successful. We came back to the station to verify that the crystals that had infested the station were in fact gone. We were prepared, if necessary, to jump in and jump out, should the Tripolity fleet still be here. We did not expect to see you here, and my intelligence tells me, and my read of your eyes tell me, that you are no traitor to your empire. And he holds up his hand. Not that I would ever imply such a thing, but I needed to check for myself with my own eyes.
the Tripolity struck into Bemoth sector. We defeated them handily, but we came here to claim vengeance against them. However, it appears that someone else has done our work for us.
I would think that the Tripolity has chosen to evade the battle rather than engage. They are led no longer by the original triumvirate of powers. My understanding is the senator was slain by a adjunct of Admiral Shreer. The admiral apparently has been disintegrated, and the Klingon general has been arrested elsewhere in the quadrant. So the only person I can conclude that would be leading this and would decide to evade a battle with a grand Klingon fleet rather than face off with it would be the Self-Style. Well, Self-Style is not fair. It's actually a rank he has. The Lord Starex, who has now taken control of the Tripolity. And knowing his tactics, as I do, he likely has fled deeper into Shackleton space to establish his fleet.
Do you have any information on a Klingon called Banan? He was involved in this Kasho smuggling and trafficking in the Klingon Empire and responsible for the deaths of millions of my people.
He taps his comm badge. Trailblazer to Victoria. Computer search on Banan. He looks at you like, is that the right word?
I nod.
Does he have a rank, or...?
He has been discommoded.
He closes his eyes. Okay. Opens them again. What was his rank before, if I may ask?
He was formerly the head of a house. In
So
his
Zhou.
own name.
Check under Zhou, also as a Klingon fighting in his own name. He's been discommoded, so check both. Aye, sir. Sir, we have a search. It seems a ship fitting Ba'anan frame was seen moving rimward.
Sorry, you cut out there at the end, seen moving rimward?
Rimward, yes. The Rear Admiral kind of tilts his head a little bit. That's strange. They'd be moving through Federation space. Any leads on where he's going? He entered Klingon space out of the lower Shackleton Federation sectors. So, he intends to move through your space. Well, if he's going to go anywhere, he's going to go through your new colonies. I think your quarry has been warned of your hunt and is attempting to evade you. Although who warned him, I'm not entirely sure. We didn't even know this was going to work. Frankly, the gamble with Kasho, with the Cowcat, was a long shot.
And what has become of the Kasho?
It seems certain temporal agents, not affiliated with Starfleet, have taken it upon themselves to intervene, since apparently this was a combined effort of various factions. So the Kashoans have been led to, I believe, an alternate... how do I put this? An alternate phase of reality. A permanent cloak for its people and its planet. They are both part and not part of our galaxy.
Well, at least that will protect them from further depredations.
Hence why I have no particular need to hunt them down or try to draw them out.
I would not advise such a course in any event.
Hmm.
However, I think the Kasho may have changed significantly. It may be that we will see them again sooner or later.
Hmm.
Very well, Admiral. You do not appear to be in any part involved in this tribe polity. I would consider it a personal favor if you could have your people transmit the data on the projected course of what might be the ship of Ba'anan to me.
He
We
grabs
will
a
catch up
pad.
with him sooner or later.
He takes out his tricorder, flips it open, and he starts tapping at it. I can upload it into your personal pad or into your ship's computer.
I'll hand him my pad.
He just taps at his tricorder and uploads it to your pad. Flips it closed.
Thank you, Admiral. I will be sure to convey this information to Chancellor Martok, along with your request that it remain classified at the highest levels.
To that effect, I would suggest that you, beyond the High Council, report that I was never here, neither was the Victoria, and that this place was simply found abandoned. Other ships can reclaim the station. It's not I haven't been given command authority to take control, and the sort of work I do requires me not to have such a permanent base of operations.
A slow smile spreads across Oda's face. I believe that forces will be here to reclaim the station very shortly.
I hesitate to tell you something, but I get the feeling that you are...
That what?
That you are an honorable sort. And not one driven by your bloodlust. I know that comes off as an insult to Klingons, but I don't mean it as such.
Very well.
I suspect this Ba'anan is going to a very particular quadrant of space. Well, a sector of space. According to certain information that I know, that I cannot tell you how I know it, it is my information that there is a certain set of coordinates that he's going to head to. And when he gets there, you're going to be facing not just Ba'anan, but one of the most powerful ships the galaxy has ever known. So if you go with everything. Or you are certain to die there. I'd rather you didn't. Understand that I just violated several different directives and I'm going to get yelled at for that. So I'd rather you didn't go around telling everyone how you learned that. You just have I won't question your honesty or honor, but I would ask you nicely not to spread my name in that.
I have, as the Joe of a house that sits on the High Council, I have many sources of intelligence. I don't think there's any need to mention anything you didn't just say. And I kind of hold up my pad as, when raising an eyebrow for him to, send me those coordinates.
He flicks the tricorder open, taps at it, and you're sent coordinates. And you're told, you see on the screen what appears to be a massive fortress station. Bigger than any space station you've ever seen. With a fleet of ships that are alien to you. You've never seen them before. You will find refuge with a person with the title of the Steel Prince in the countenance of an organization calling itself the Qua Principality. You will find him there on that station, and you will find your vengeance.
And a fitting vengeance, too, judging from this station and its ships. This will be glorious.
One way or the other, you're getting to Silvercore. Hopefully this gives you victory, rather than what I believed was going to happen.
And to you, Admiral, success in whatever ventures you undertake from here.
Surviving is usually what I'm better at, but the well wish is appreciated all the same. He grimaces. You get a sense that grimace is him being really pissed off. Like, that's... Like, his emotions are tampered down, but it's... Any show of emotion is him being emotional. So you're not familiar with the species. You've never met the species before, but you can kind of you're an experienced Joe. You've seen various aliens before.
Right. Would you join me in a cup of blood wine, Admiral, before returning to your ship?
I'm afraid not, but perhaps we'll see each other again in more official capacity. The less that your sensors see me, and the less movement I have, the better. I would actually suggest that you phaser sweep this entire room once I leave to eliminate any trace of my presence.
Very well. I'll hit my communicator. Liqueur, our guest is ready to leave.
He steps onto the pad. Cora steps back into the room. And he's beamed away.
And I will head up to my ready room, I suppose, and establish a secure connection with Martok and fill him in on these deets, as well as a copy of the the information he gave me, and the request that it remain highly classified, and ask permission to do a phaser sweep of the area once the Victoria disappears.
New scene. Eventually, you find yourself and Keldar and Hona sitting in the company of the High Chancellor. Once I get his bloody token. There he is. Whoops.
We've come a long way from fleeing in a 100-and-something-year-old ship into the Azleza Expanse.
Martok looks around your war room. You see a few guards just outside the door, who are likely being told to, no, you're staying out there.
Right. I regret that we were not able to assault Narendra Station and deal with the Tripolity ourselves, Chancellor.
Yes, well, victory is victory. As frustrating as this one is.
We still have the pleasure of returning the station to the Federation.
I'm going to enjoy the look on their faces when I tell them that they can have my permission to have it back.
Our engineering teams have restored power and are working on sealing the breaches and returning atmosphere to normal.
Regarding
forces that it should not take too long.
Regarding what you reported to me, you may share this if you trust them, of course. You may share what we learned.
And I'll fill in Keldar and Hona.
What do you intend to do with this information?
Well, with your blessing, I hope to take my fleet and find this Steel Prince and his forces, and he who is discommendated, and take my rightful vengeance and the vengeance of the Bamoth sector on he who has caused so much death and so much dishonor to fall upon it.
I cannot deny your vengeance. The slayer of your fathers, the slayer of your people. Any son is required to take this. The warning of this admiral, do you believe him?
I do not know him, or know of him. He is perhaps even more highly classified than that ship of his.
Starfleet and its secrets. I will authorize you to take a small squadron, not more. The Empire still needs to defend Bamoth, while you go on your adventure of revenge.
Understood.
I will assign a trusted follower to look after your lands while you're away.
I am in your debt.
You repelled a surprise attack and managed to keep my ships from being bloodied over your civil war. If anything, you hold me 2 debts. You cost me a fight or 2.
I intend to leave as soon as practicable, and to conduct my business with these Quaqua and their Steel Prince and Ba'anan as quickly as possible, and return as soon as I may.
In the meanwhile, I'll start giving you the political weight that you will require to be deployed that far toward the rim. There are many houses that will resent a great house going that far into their domains. Much as I may order such things, it is unwise of a chancellor to create new enemies that he doesn't wish to make. In time,
Perhaps.
One way or the other, you'll need to make, once your vengeance is assured, you'll need to explain to this 10th Expeditionary Fleet of why I have sent one of our greatest warriors and their ships so far from their home system. They will be suspicious.
Well, perhaps the fact that I'm only taking a small squadron will allay their fears.
He nods.
Of course. It has often been my experience that a small Klingon squadron is the equivalent of a large Federation fleet.
Ha!
But all of this is for tomorrow. Tonight, let us celebrate our victory. Not just today, but those of the past year. We have done much, come far, and made the Empire stronger. To continued victory. Kapla! I hoist up the blood wine.
Blah.
Kapla!
Glug, 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 glug.
You drink and make merry, glorious in your victory. with a long journey across the quadrant ahead of you. And that will be all for today's episode. And of course, shout out, of course, to Kevin MacLeod at IncomTech.com, the person who does all the great music that you will hear on Roll20. Awesome person. Check out his site if you want to hear other great music by him. Next time, if you think you were frustrated with not having a battle today, oh, believe me, next time the battle will be quite substantial. So wish them luck and to their next adventure. Have a good one, everybody. And I just kicked up my thing. Did I disconnect? I did not.